Alright, this is Andrew with Jota Home Inspections. We are doing a sewer scope today here in Pleasant Grove. Today is July 18th, 2025. And we are at 665 West, 2490 North. We only have the camera pushed out 21 feet. And I'm hitting some sort of a blockage in the line. This one's interesting because this opening in the pipe looks similar to a septic tank. When you drop into a septic tank, it basically drops into a big pot of water and waste, and that's similar to what this looks like. 21 feet out usually isn't far enough to hit the city line. Average length of a line that I see is about 100 feet, and so this one certainly isn't very far out. But if it is a septic line that we're feeding into, septic tanks usually aren't very far from the house. I did look up a listing online, and it said sewer connected, which would mean there's no septic tank here. In either case, whether this is going to sewer or septic, you shouldn't have a big piece of waste stuck in the line at the end of a lateral line. And so I would recommend having this line cleaned, whether it's a lateral line that needs to be cleaned or whether it is a septic tank. In either case, this should be addressed to prevent a future blockage. Then we're going to pull it back and see as much as we can, but I couldn't see past that blockage. I started to push through it. The other thing that I was wondering is it's possible that this house has a back water valve. This house is new enough that certainly could be the case, and a back water valve is basically a one-way flap so that waste can go through it, but if you have a backup from the city line, it's going to hit your back water valve, the flap, and prevent it from backing up into the house. Eventually it still can, but it slows it down. Sometimes back water valves will get buildup on that flap, and so it's possible that's what we were seeing. And so part of the reason I'm not going to try to push through it, you have so much buildup, I can't see if it's actually a back water valve, and if it is, once you go through it, you can't pull your camera back through. You'd have to know where it is, pull the cap off, otherwise you can break the valve and cause a backup. And so I'm going to avoid that. In either case, I think it's definitely warranted to have cleaned. This is ABS pipe. This is what they use on a lot of new construction still. This house is a little unique in that it looks like there is a sewage ejector pump. And so we're down here in the basement. You have a big pit. A lot of people call these sump pumps. Sump pumps are generally referring to a pump that is moving groundwater. A sewage ejector pump or a grinder pump, that's moving sewage and lifting it up and then putting it back in the sewer line so it can go out with gravity. So usually you need these when the lateral line isn't ran low enough below the basement slab. What's strange is that usually when you have an ejector pump, the lateral line is going out, 4 or 5 feet off the ground, and this one goes under the slab, but I'm wondering if it goes under just a little too shallow to be able to feed into. So just to recap, I would recommend that this line be cleaned since you do have a little bit of buildup, a little bit of a blockage, and then once it's cleaned, you want to have it evaluated further. I'm going to end this recording now.